Alright, we're gonna take a little deviation from the game real quick to talk about Nintendo as a whole in this era, because this stems from a structural problem with Nintendo that quite simply can't be ignored and is what hurt Luigi's Mansion 2 in my opinion. If you'd like to hear about, the game or whatever, I'll put a time code on screen right now, as I do still plan to talk about the unique mansions or other gameplay abilities, but let's just put all this aside for a second. Well, many seconds. Nintendo during the GameCube era had a tendency to make some of the most unique and diverse products, not only in the gaming industry, but seen throughout their own individual franchises. Mario went from stomping Goombas in a grassy land to being buzzed out of prison to clean a tropical island. Zelda, yeah, we got unique games for side characters too, games that we didn't see too often in the Wii era or beyond. I'm speaking not only about games like Luigi's Mansion and Wario World, but games like Super Princess Peach and Tingle's Rosy Rupee Land on the Nintendo DS. There were also unique IPs being made, like Pikmin, which got me a hater, but I don't feel like this would have been made during the Wii era. Now, I feel like people are very quick to just dismiss this as nostalgia, but I don't think it's that simple. I mean, compared to 20 years ago, I'm ancient now, and I got that feeling I described a few times during the Switch era. That's why, despite not many people caring about this game, I wanted to give Princess Peach Showtime a review on my channel, because it was just the first time in a while I felt Nintendo focused on a side character. We had a Zelda game that starred Zelda, and games as a whole just started trying to match their peaks of the GameCube era. Look no further than Pikmin 4, which was basically more of a sequel to Pikmin 2 than it was to 3. Mario Party came back from the dead, Super Mario Odyssey, and even Bowser's Fury took elements from Mario Sunshine. You get the point. I don't need to keep just listing Switch games endlessly. So my point is, it isn't just nostalgia for me. I took a look at the Wii era, alright? Or really, the Wii 3DS and Wii U, but it started with the Wii. Games just started to become more devoid of charm and personality to appeal to the casual gamers, who were, to be fair, the main audience of the Wii. Mario's dark era has been heavily documented, but look at Mario. You look at New Super Mario Bros. Wii and cry. Even great games like Donkey Kong Country Returns and Kirby's Epic Yarn just felt like they were less for a gamer and more for a general audience. The games just started feeling not necessarily worse to me in this era, but different. It was tricky, right? Because these were all technically great games still. I mean, Nintendo knew if we play it safe, it'll technically be perfect, and IGN and shills across the board will give us 10s. It still works for Pokemon. Look at Super Mario 3D World. It's a great game, sure, but regarded as one of the worst 3D Mario titles. And the same could be said about Skyward Sword in relation to the Zelda franchise, which forced motion controls and was, and is, probably the most linear Zelda experience to date. Now look at the reviews for Skyward Sword, and here's the reviews for Breath of the Wild. So I bring this up just to say, I don't actually think this is Next Level Games' fault in particular. In retrospectives, I don't typically like to talk about future games in the series, but I do feel like it's actually important to talk about Luigi's Mansion 3 real quick, since it proves a bit of a point, and I'm sure I'll get to that video in 2026 or something. So by the time you watch it, you'll forget this video happened. I know I will. But look what we have here. Luigi's Mansion 3 has one coherent mansion, or, hotel. Now, you don't go between floors or areas as much as you did in LM1, but the point is, it gave the game a chance to be more in line with the first in the series, and more importantly, there were portrait ghost-like characters. And the game just oozes with a lot more personality and detail than LM2 did, in my opinion. And again, we're seeing this with a lot of Switch titles. Breath of the Wild was a fuck you to Skyward Sword. Pikmin 4 was not only a complete 180 from Pikmin 3, but almost didn't even acknowledge that game existing. Again, I could list example after example, but these paragraphs also make me really miserable to edit while I do that, so I'm just gonna cut myself off. Point is, Luigi's Mansion 2 was a victim of this direction of Nintendo in this era. It was really just a time where Miyamoto and other higher-ups had too much influence in an industry that was rapidly changing. And it was the same deal for Sticker Star. There were rumors around the Wii U era that Nintendo games started having mandates for less unique characters. And of course, there's been blame back and forth that Miyamoto himself damaged Sticker Star. Although, I don't know, that's been disproven or proven. I don't know. I feel like that game is just such a catastrophic piece of crap that every executive and everyone in Nintendo just blames someone else. It was just a sad era for Nintendo games, though. I mean, the tricky part about navigating these discussions is that, again, these games are technically all great. Well, not that one. They just don't have the same feel, and that's the hardest aspect to write about in a game review, because feel is entirely subjective. And so I'm here to say, in regards to LM2, this made the game a good game, but not great. There, so I don't want anyone yelling at me. I said your game was good, your beloved little masterpiece in your mind. I said it was good. It is a good game. I should probably also, talk about the game that I just said was good at some point.